Operated on tumors here weighing 20 kilograms. Africa, it's Europe, seen through a magnifying glass. I shall operate on them tomorrow.
Tomorrow also?
There's no reason why any one of them should suffer a day longer than the others. And don't tell me it's God's will, Father Charles. Bring them in now, Joseph, Bonzo.
God, all that suffering, ugliness, war, bear witness against God. What is he to say in reply? What have you to say?
One day you will have children. They will suffer pain in front of your eyes and you will be helpless. Then they will look at you as you are looking at me at this moment. What will you say in reply?
You would say leave it to God, I suppose. But if a handful of fanatics at Hermitage, or your hospital, would you still leave it to God? Would you still draw checks on your heavenly bank? No, of course you wouldn't. You'd apply to me for military assistance.
I defend myself with my own weapons.
Oh, you're both shepherds who won't believe there's a wolf. I'm the watchdog who barks. You try to keep me quiet. So much the worse for your sheep.
But surely between dog and sheep there is man. I have confidence in man.
For 2 years I kept my hermitage open night and day. Open to snakes and animals and men. When one is fortunate enough to possess God, Monsieur Leblanc, one does not put him under lock and key. Besides? Nothing.
You'd like me to finish your sentence for you? Besides, if fanatics attacked the Holy Sacrament, which I shelter, I'd be glad to die. Is that it?
Yes.
Very well. And if I were now to give you proof that God does not exist, that the Bible is a poet's invention, Christ a conjurer, irrefutable proof, how would that affect your way of life?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Then you are not honest.
It's exactly as if you insisted on my walking upside down because you bring me proof that the earth is round. Try to persuade a newborn baby that he doesn't need milk. You know along what paths I've travelled, Monsieur Leblanc. I know now what is good for me.
But who can convince you that other people...
Anyway, whether God exists or not, the expression of suffering on a man's face is the same. It touches my heart. An orphan child in his black coat. A worker with eyes tired and swollen, returning exhausted from a factory, flinging himself into a corner of a train. An old man in his Sunday best, sitting on the edge of the hardest chair, waiting for me to attend to him. Defenseless beings, Leblanc. They will always find me without defense.
Because you see Christ in them.
Even if he'd been no more than a conjurer, it is enough for me that he was beaten, condemned, crucified. I clasp him in my arms, my unhappy brother.
Then you no longer worship him.
I love him, nonetheless.
When I was a child, there was an old Jew who used to go through the streets of Ginsbach with a little cart. He always kept his head down, like his donkey. The urchins, myself included, used to run after him and call out his name, which I remember was Moshe. Moshe, and make fun of him. One day when I got near enough to tug at his coattails and call out something stupid, I saw for the first time the look on his face. Monsieur Leblanc, that is a wound that will never heal.
And that is why you are here, Schweitzer. For some such reason, each of us, good or bad, is where he is, in heaven or in hell. In you, it is the child, whose eyes are still aghast at what he saw, compelling you. It is the Jew Moshe whom you are tending here.
Jew Moshe, the bronze Negro at the base of the Admiral Brower monument, and the lame horse they were leading to the slaughterhouse at Colmar.
They will never be cured.
Nor will I.
Do you believe that the slavery we have abolished in this country will ever cease? You track it down every day, and every day it springs up in some new form. Do you allow yourself to be discouraged?
I only do my duty as a man.
But that part of your duty as a man which consists in doing a little more than your duty as a man, what do you call that, eh? Where does it come from?
Not to carry on would discourage others from trying.
Monsieur Leblanc, you are fighting disorder, slavery, epidemics, even though you know it will all have to be started over and over again, because one day you know that everything will be right and final. You too are awaiting the kingdom. That is the proof you bring us of God's existence, the irrefutable proof.
On the contrary, I have come to warn you of the imminence of something which creates the gravest doubts about God's existence. War. A messenger may be on his way here at this very moment with the news. I warn you again, Doctor, that your hospital may be in danger tonight.
You know, there is nothing on earth more obstinate than an Alsatian. Except perhaps a Protestant.
Well, you, Father, in any case must not remain in isolation. You must stay here at Lambaréné for the next day or so.
Don't order me to do that.
Only a suggestion. I don't trust the medicine men round here. They resent your influence.
Then no, Monsieur Leblanc. I am still soldier enough to know the penalty for desertion. I shall go back to the Hermitage tonight.
Very well, we'll go along together. It's only an hour's walk anyway.
You have an escort?
Of course.
Then no, Monsieur Leblanc. The natives are not going to see me here with armed guards.
As you wish, Father. Good night, Mademoiselle.
Let me show you out.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Monsieur Leblanc.
All the same, barricade your door tonight.
Father, this time we're on the edge of the abyss.
Worse, Schweitzer, we're right in it. There's hand-to-hand fighting by now, I'm sure.
Father, don't tell me that the men I grew up with and the men that you grew up with are fighting each other now as we're talking of God.
They are. And in his name, perhaps. I must go.
Father, has it occurred to you that you may be recalled to command men?
To command men to kill other men? How could I avoid thinking about it?
And how will you refuse?
I am calm. God will find a solution. No doubt he has found one already.
Be careful, Father. Monsieur Leblanc may be right when he says that we draw checks on heaven.
Monsieur Leblanc is forgetful of one thing. All our checks are covered. Everything has always been honored, at least so far as we're concerned. God alone can give.
He lends to the rich, but to the poor he gives.
Then he'll give me the means of escaping without running away. Good night. It hurts me to leave you. I feel as if something important is coming to an end.
This is probably the last place and the last moment where a German and a Frenchman can speak to each other like brothers. You're going away, Father? I'm left here with my 300 sick and their families. Yet I have the feeling that you're leaving me alone, abandoning me.
God is with all his creation. Millions upon millions of the dead and the living. Yet he will be the loneliest of all if I don't go back at once to the Hermitage.
You hear that noise?
Yes, it has not stopped since morning.
Oh, but it's getting louder.
I see no sign of Mademoiselle Marie.
She's gone to the surgical ward. We have a case there past hope. Casa. I can do no more for him.
Mademoiselle Marie is wonderfully devoted.
Wonderfully punctilious.
Tell her that I am praying. No, that I am thinking of her soul. You will tell her that tonight, won't you? First time you've ever called me by the name the world knew me by.
Charles.
God be with you.
Where's Father Charles?
Gone home. I couldn't hold him.
He's not afraid. Even tonight.
He won't even barricade the Hermitage. He says if God does not wish to protect him, of what use is a locked door? I I see him kneeling on the floor,